So just some logistical stuffs. First thing first, thank you for taking the time to join us today. Um, this workshop is actually a part of a series of workshops that was conducted since I think June till today. And that the whole purpose of all these workshops is actually for this competition called Splash Awards, right? So Splash Awards, this is its 18th year running, and that this is a theme for the year. So how will digital intelligence and cloud transform Singapore in a post-pandemic world? The registration will close on 16th of July, so just a few more days left, and finals will actually be on the 24th of September, right? So the team as Special Ops 2021, this year's team, we were really looking at what are the kind of innovative solutions, that could be that could be innovated, right, by our students. Because there's a Singapore is recovering now from COVID-19. This year we want to understand what are the kind of challenges that Singapore will face in a post-pandemic world, and how can we make use of technology to help them, right? So students will have the opportunity to actually learn and deploy their applications on cloud, and be inspired by how existing AI applications are tapping on the benefits of cloud technology. So, I mean, if you guys do not know what cloud technology is, later I have a very simple explanation on what it is, right? And also, this is a first ever student hybrid competition using online and both of on-site platform for training, judging, and award ceremony, right? So a lot of competitions back in 2019, these are all physical stuff. And we do that also, right? It's just that because of COVID, we have to make some adjustments to our to the competition. So the team is actually very big, right? So how will digital intelligence and cloud transform Singapore in a post-pandemic world? It's a very, very long theme. And what we have done is we actually cut it down into, different sub-teams, 10 different sub-teams for our participants to actually look into and dive deeper into for what kind of solutions that could be innovated, right? So there's like community building, cyber security, education, family and lifestyle, finance, healthcare, and so on and so forth. There is this very, very special theme that I would like to highlight, right? So this cyber security portion, okay, and this is something that I would say most of the guys might have missed it out, right? Because if they don't read the things properly, they might have missed it out, right? But cybersecurity actually is a sub team across all the others. Basically, how cybersecurity sub team we are looking at, right, is whether in your solution do you include cybersecurity or not, whether it is how you protect your solution, innovative ways of how you protect your solutions, or innovative ways of how you can help people to protect solutions, protect their data in terms of cybersecurity. So this is just one thing that I wanted to highlight. And also, if any of these teams don't fit into the criteria, you can also go into the open criteria, open sub team. So the competition is open to two different categories, right? The very first one is actually pre-tertiary, another one is tertiary. So you can see secondary school, centralized JCs and junior college, and then ITE, polytechnic, and university. In here, the eligibility actually states that you can only have a maximum of 3 students. That's still the same, right? But we actually receive inquiries asking, I want to bring my friend in from secondary school, but now I'm in poly. Can I do that or not? The answer is yes, right? But you still need to have a schools to represent, a mentor to represent. So if you guys have 2 or 3 friends with different schools, then you all have to pick one school that you all will represent from. All right. So these are some of the things, and yes, you need to appoint a mentor. Right. So the timeline, we are very, very near closing of the stage A submissions now. Basically, stage A, it's all about submitting your ideas in the Word document and some pictures to accompany your ideas. Then stage B, we will shortlist 40 teams, right? And these 40 teams will be given additional training in stage B. So if you have seen or you have participated in our earlier workshops, basically for stage B, we'll be doing that as well, but more technical, because stage B, it's about idea to prototype, right? So you can see they'll start working on your prototype, whether it is whether you you develop it, develop the entire solution, or your solution is in a prototype stage. These are where you will spend some time in stage B, and stage C. Between stage B and stage C, will fight shortlist 12 teams to actually move out, come to the finals, and in the finals, that's where the judging panel will actually decide on the winning team, right? So uh, if you see how these three stages, all they are held, right? Stage A, we have workshops on how do you ideate, how do you plan for the future, right? Just in case when you move over to stage B, what are the things that you need to look out for, and that's the purpose of this workshop. Stage B is more the technical one, so our partners will come in as well. Our sponsors will also come in to teach you guys, okay, how do you implement certain technology, to how do you deploy to cloud. There'll be workshops to help you guys on that, and more technical hands-on workshops, right? Those are gonna be there, and we also will have mentors to support you. So you have mentor, that will guide you along to solidifying your ideas, making it the entry making it the winning entry. So don't worry about it, right? As a participant, I think look for the journey. It is something that personally I've participated in multiple competitions, won once or twice, but I really learned a lot from there. And I think this is something that you should also look forward to, right? So what is a competition when there is no attractive prizes, right? So the MacBook Air is actually the winning team. I mean, so if I were you, I would bring three people in, right? And then we can win a MacBook Air each. Yeah, but that's the top prize for the winning team. And they are actually for two tiers, right? So we have tertiary and pre-tertiary. So both of them, both of the winning teams will actually get a MacBook Air for each team member. And for the second runner-up, the first runner-up, you will also have prizes to be won more than $20,000. So we have a wealth of prizes to give away, right? So this is really made possible because of our sponsors, and you can see that there are some big names here. For those who are in pre-tertiary, I think it's a good opportunity. For our students, it's a good opportunity as well, because you get a chance to showcase, to executives in GIC, Huawei, NCS, CSA, GovTech, and all this. And these are actually pretty big organizations. So you can actually learn a thing or two from them. Our mentors may also come from there. So these are really a good opportunity for you to get connected with them also. All right. So these are some of the pictures that we have taken in our past few years. So 2018, right? You can see I'm wearing the same shirt. So this is where is Gentech, right? Where we come in to support the event as well. These are where the students will participate, and we always have a guest of honor. So this year, in 2018, guest of honor was Senior Minister of State, Mr. Man, right? And then in 2019, we brought in IMDA's chairman for the competition. That's 2019, where it was AI, special awards for AI. Then 2020, which you can see, there was a hybrid competition, right? So we did this virtually. And then our judges actually met up physically to do the judging. So I think it's really a competition that has a lot of resources guiding you through. I would say, the organizing team and the committee has actually put in a lot of efforts and resources, pull together all the resources to guide you guys to give you guys a very, very meaningful competition. So I look forward to your entries, right? If you have any questions, please go to send an email over to Splash Awards, or you can actually check out the link for more competition details, right? Okay, any questions for the competition so far at this point? Since we only have a few of us, right? Feel free to just open your mic and ask. No?
Can I ask something?
Yes, yes.
Like, because I already submitted, right? Is it too late to add another team member?
No, it's not. You can just submit again. But I think you need to drop us an email to so that we can do some stuff for you behind the scenes.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
okay.
so you just send us an email to splash@ses.org.sg, then we'll follow up from there.
Okay, okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. Any others? If not, I'll move on to the workshop. No? Okay. So hold on, Uh, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, good. So welcome to Ideation to Prototype 101. The entire purpose of this workshop is really to help you come up with a idea that can be executed, right? So I think we still have some. All right. And this workshop is really brought to you guys, exclusive by Special Awards. So you can see you are only looking at students here, right? Most of the other workshops and events or sharings are really more for a mixture of ICT professionals and and students. But ideation to prototype, let's idea together and all these are mostly exclusive for students, right? So uh, my name is Jia Rong. I am the Solutions Director of Login. I have been doing coding for about 15 over years. And really what I enjoy doing is, to mentor students, help them to learn and appreciate technology because sometimes technology can be a little bit of a pain, right? But actually there are a lot of fun sides to it. So that's what I really enjoy doing. So I'm a volunteer here in Singapore Computer Society and IT Youth Council, right? So uh, today, this is the agenda. I think we're a little bit behind time, but I think it's fine. So we probably should still be able to finish the session by 7. But what I will do is I will run through, the checklist that I have actually came up with, how to help you guys sort out your thoughts and put them into the paper, the document that, is required for you guys to submit your entries. Then we'll go through a group exercise together in two different phases, right? Then after that, last but not least, I'll share with you guys some tips and then we're open for Q&A, right? So what is ideation? So ideation, what's ideation to prototype? Ideation to prototype, right? Basically, it is an experimental or exploration phase, right? To really put it bluntly, you would have a lot of versions of this, right? Then you pick up what is the best way of doing this, right? And that's how you see it, right? So you come up with a bunch of ideas, from the ideation session, and then after that you identify, right, which one is the best for you, best idea, right? And then you expand more into it, right, to come up with prototyping, to shift this idea into a prototype. And that's basically how it is, right? So at the end of the day, what you have is idea, oh, let's go to the beach today. That is the idea, right? And you actually going to the beach, you preparing for your swimsuit, etc., and everything, that is the entire process, right? So, but you don't need to prototype this, like, because you know what you need to do, you know what you need to prepare, right? But prototyping is the part where you learn and you explore the different things that you can do, right? So in this case, at the end of your prototyping phase, usually you'll come up with, like wireframes or design options, mock-ups, or if needed, you can also have stylescapes, so that, you can actually provide a visual view for who or for whoever that you are trying to teach over your idea to understand and appreciate your idea. So that's what ideation to prototype is all about, right? Now, so I have a list of, I think, 7 checklists, for you guys to go through. Basically, just go from top down checklist 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And at the end of this entire checklist, right, you should be able to have a bunch of ideas, or a bunch of ways that you can come up with in your prototype, right? And also to actually solidify your ideas, look for what are the unique uh, unique selling points, what's unique about your idea and stuff like this, right? So the very first one, and I think I can't do this without a example. So what I'm going to do, right, is that I'm just extracting one of the first runner-up in Special Awards 2019 competition, right, that says make learning English fun for school-age children by evoking their creativity, curiosity, and inculcating a habit of reading in depth, right? So this is the idea, right? My idea is I want to make English learning fun, make learning English fun, right? And then so at this statement, right, there is the what, there is the who, there is the how, right? That you need to be clear, okay? Because for you to have that, once you have that, right, everything you can align yourself in towards this when you are doing your ideation and towards your prototyping, right? So in this case, right, what would be making make learning English fun. It's very clear cut, right? Anyone want to guess who's the who? What would be the who? Anyone? Edmund, Jofan, Machen?
School age children.
That's right. Okay. And then what about the what or the how? So the how, okay, is actually evoke their creativity, curiosity, and habit of reading. This is how we want to make learning English fun for the school age children. All right. Okay. So I felt that this was a very, very good example because this really helps you to articulate what exactly this solution is all about. It's that one liner that helps people to imagine, okay, if I see make learning English fun for school age children, maybe it's gonna be in a mobile application, right? Very cutesy kind of thing, evoking their creativity or maybe some drawing or something like this, right? So this one statement, right, is going to help you to, frame how the people who's trying to understand what your idea is all about, right? To really help them to frame and understand, okay, this is what it is, right? So that's checklist one. So checklist two, right? So now that you know what, who, and how you're gonna do it, right? The next question you want to know is you want to actually check on, right, is where are you gonna build it at? Right? There are many ways for you to build solutions today. It can be on a mobile app, it can be on a desktop app, it can be on a website, it can also be on an IoT device, right? Or any hardware, right? That has computing capabilities, right? So there are many different platforms. And so the question, that you need to ask yourself in the second checklist is, okay, this is my idea, at which of the platforms that's available for me to use should I actually work on, right? There is the web, there is the mobile, there is the Internet of Things, right? And I would say the most common are these three. That doesn't mean that the others don't exist, right? But these three are the most common platforms, and I think it's something that you can actually run your checklist in. So in here, right, you want to start asking yourself a few questions. How do I decide if my solution is best done on the web, best done on the mobile app, or best done on the on a device, right? So these are some of the questions that you might want to ask yourself. So do the who have access, right? You remember that our first in our first checklist, right? The who is school age children, right? So now the question would then be, does school age children have access to website? If I want to visit a website, what do I need? I need a laptop, I need a PC, I need a phone maybe, right? Does the school age children have that? Do they have easy access to that or not? Right? And from there, you actually gauge a point, right? 1 to 5. Okay. Maybe the school age children will have 5 points in accessibility to web because they will always have a laptop, right? But maybe some school age children do not necessarily have a phone, so therefore this one for hardware, right? You have to think about how do they gain access to this and all this. So then you actually give some points to this, and you should discuss this as a team. All right. Then the next question is, can the how be delivered, right? So the question is that you want to actually make English learning fun by evoking their creativity, right? Inculcate a habit of reading. Does it make sense if I try to put this um if I try to develop the solution in a concrete box, for example, right? Can it be delivered or not? How can this concrete box actually encourage them to be creative? How can the concrete box be encourage them to be to inculcate a habit of reading, right? So you have to look at all three platforms and decide which one would be the one that would best deliver the selected best deliver the how, right? And last but not least is the what. So one is, can I deliver or not? Right? Is there a way for me to deliver the how? The next one is, if I were to deliver it on the web, I deliver the same thing on the mobile, and I deliver the same thing on the IoT solution. Is the what effective? Right? Okay. And the question, and we have to measure the effectiveness, right? For example, um, there are different ways of education, right? So if your parents used to cane you, maybe that is effective, right? And comparing to scolding you, uh, just scolding you. So that's how you have to measure the effectiveness of this also. And from there, right, as a team, once you guys come up with the points, right, so all of these questions, you'll just measure them 1 to 5, 1 to 5, 1 to 5, and each team member. Then what at the end of the day, you add up all the points, right? You should be able to get one platform, and that should be the platform, that I would say the team would have agreed to that this is actually the one of the best platform to deliver your solution. All right, so this is your checklist tool. I'm gonna just pause here. Any questions as of this point, or it's clear? If it's clear, give me a thumbs up, please. Cool. I see Mitchell. Okay. Yep. Thank you very much. Okay. So, checklist 3. Now, this is where things get very, very interesting. Features, because this is where you have to expand. You also have to think about well, later I think like this. Can it be done or not, right? And this is the part where it will help you. This checklist will help you, right? So what is a features, right? Features are basically things that would help to make it into the entire solution that you have. Features are things that would support the idea that you are trying to drive, right? That to deliver the house that you want to do, right? So the thought process that you have inside there, right, is the first thing, so how if you pull back to our previous first checklist, right, the how is to evoke their creativity, their curiosity, and their habit of reading. So at this stage, right, it's actually very simple. What you need to do is, okay, in here I have creativity, evoke curiosity, and evoke a habit of reading. So these are 4 things, right, that you will want to make sure that your features will cover, right? So what you will do is that for each, right, you want to think about how can I evoke creativity, right? So then you will just have a bunch of ideas over there that okay, to evoke creativity, maybe we can have a whiteboard, or a word tracing tool, word tracing game or something like this, right? Then they will get creative, or maybe encourage them to do sentence piecing, right? So this is how you can do that. Curiosity, so evoke curiosity, right? So that's the next question. So then you think about what are the features or what are the things that would help in evoking curiosity. Last but not least, how to develop a habit of reading. So if you see, right, in the how, if you have 10 things over here, the features of the solution, you need to think about all the things you have a 10 checklist over here. And then in here, you then think of what are the different features that you can put in to ensure that your app is evoking your solution is evoking creativity, your solution is evoking curiosity, and so on and so forth. Right? So this is just a list. At the end of the day, right, in this checklist, you should just have for each item that you want to do in the how, right, you will have a list of things, features that you want to explore. All right. Okay. So that is the checklist for features. Now, then we start slowly coming into the technology portion, right? We need to think about how are we going to do this? How are we going to achieve this, right? And that's where the feature system comes in. That's the 4th checklist. All right. So the 4th checklist, guys, I think very straightforward. What is the mechanism? Okay. And in the mechanism, there are a few things that you need to think about. All right. And these few things that you are thinking about will basically help you to come out and decide, right, whether this feature that I'm trying to do, is it worth it or not? Okay. So now moving back to my previous slide, right, in here, let's just say I have 2 features that I want to do for creativity, 2 features that I want to do for curiosity, and 1 feature that for habit of reading. Then in here, in checklist feature 4, I would then have 4 features. Each feature would then have 1 thing, and you then need to ask, right, what is needed for me to build this feature? What kind of things, what kind of data, what kind of things that screen, or how will it look like to for me to actually develop these features, right? What are the must have and what's the want to have? So must have means oh, if I'm planning to do a leaderboard, for example, and I don't have scores, how am I ever going to do that? Right? There's no way you can do that. So therefore, the must have would be the scores. All right. So that's how you have to think about. And basically, for each feature, you just do the same and same and same and same until you have a list of things, right? So for all these three, basically what will happen is that, you have a list of things inside here. Must have points, must have this, must have that, want to have this, want to have that, want to have this, want to have that. And how it helps you, right, is actually very simple. The must-haves will tell you or help you to estimate the efforts that is required. The want to have will give you an idea, right, of how can you further improve this, right? Because these are some of the questions that the judges will ask, right? It's like, so assuming that, you deliver this, you build up this entire prototype, what are the areas that you think you can improve in, right? And this will really help you, right? And if you have this already in the ideas, I think this do give you some bonus, some plus points, right? So do consider this, right? So that checklist 4 basically will help you to understand how this entire thing will work. All right. I'm gonna pause here. Any questions so far? All good? Okay, it's 6:32. So let's and just have another few more. Then we'll go on to the demo so that we can have more time to really discuss and share ideas. So the fifth one is actually user journey, right? So this user journey basically is to understand how would the user actually, when I first buy your hardware, or I were to first download your mobile app, or I were to first go to the website, what is the thing that I'm gonna see, and for each thing that I click, or for each thing that I do, what is it that I'm gonna experience, right? So what you have to do is, for each feature, you need to decide what are the pages that you will require to achieve this feature, right? And in each page, you have to decide, okay, what can the users see and what can the users do. So an example, right, is that a leadership board page, right? What can the users see? The users will be able to see a list of other players in this game, right? And what can the users do? Maybe they can click on the individual records, and they can see, what's their strength, maybe in English, in math, in science, that they're good in, or maybe they are stronger in creativity, they're stronger in curiosity, and stuff like this, right? So for each page, basically, this will then very clearly describe you what can the user see and what can the users do, and how does it help you, right? Is that it then helps you to link up, okay, for me to do this, just this feature itself, how many pages will I require, and how does all these things link together, right? So for each of these things that the users can do, right? If I can click on the save button, then where will it bring me to? What will show up? You will then create another new page, and then you do the same thing again. So now, for example, in the leadership board, right? What can the user see? See the list of players, right? What can the users do? Click on it to view more details. Then I will have a page 2, right, which is leadership board user details. Okay, and what can the user see here? I can see the players more detailed information about how did he manage to get the high score, and stuff like this. And what can the users do, right? They can go back to the previous screen, for example. So that way, right, you complete the list of pages that you will need to do. So you just repeat this on and on and on again. All right. So if you see, right, from that one sentence, we have expanded out the things into, we've broken it down into the platform. We identify the channel that we're going to do this. Then we look at how, right? What are the features that can help me to achieve the goals? Then for each of the features, we look at how are we going to build them. And from each feature, we also look at what are the pages that's required. Okay, and I'll share with you how all of these things piece together, right? But the last but not least, right, is actually design. Okay, and design wise, it's huge. So I will leave you guys to go and explore on your own. But what I'm going to share with you is some of the tools that we use professionally as well. That is free and it's really really good, right? So in the design, basically, you have to also come up with, how does it look like? What's the look and feel of it? You already have the pages details, right? The leadership board is going to show you this. It's going to be able to do that, right? But the design is really the look and feel, okay? So I want to introduce to you Adobe XD. Any of you guys have heard of this before or used this before or not? You raise up your hand if you have. Anyone? No? Yeah. So Adobe XD basically allows you to build prototypes. For example, this is mobile app, right? This is mobile app and web. But hardware wise, you might need to use other ways of prototyping, right? But for basically for website and mobile application, you can use Adobe XD to very quickly come up with the different screens, and then you can even link the specific buttons to click. You click on this, and then it brings you to that page and so on and so forth, right? So it's a desktop application, so it means that you need to download the application, but it's very easy to prototype, very easy for you to copy and paste on the thing. So I do have a link for you, right? And this one, you can scan it, right? So for example, if you decided that you want to build a mobile application, and you can see that they always use iPhone's template, right? So like all these small icons, the timing, the Wi-Fi icons, and all these things, they already have them all in this template. All right, so I'll be sharing this deck later. You can actually go and get it from there. Then you can scan the QR code again, right? But it will give you an entire list of templates that you can use, whether it's Android, it is a website, right? Or you want a mobile application, or iOS application. So they have all these templates for you. So the second one that I want to introduce to you is actually Figma. So Figma is very, very similar to Adobe XD, right? But it is a web application, which means you don't need to download it on your mobile phone, on your PC, right? You can actually get this done on the web. The downside to this is that if your idea is very big, right, you have a lot of pages, let's just say 100 pages, right? Oh, then it gets very, very laggy because your website, your browser is not meant to actually take this heavy loads, right? So that's why I would recommend you exploring Adobe XD and Figma. And last but not least, so yeah, you can scan this QR code to actually experience how is it like for the tutorial. And last but not least is Marvel. So Marvel and Figma is exactly the same. It's just that for Marvel they have a few templates that you can just click and then it will show you. It will basically give you the template screens and then you just need to change some of the contents in the center. So I leave it to you guys to really explore. But you were saying that so you have Adobe XD, you have Marvel, you have all this is very very complicated. Is there a simpler one? Yes, there is, right? In fact, actually, you can actually make use of PowerPoint. All right. So PowerPoint also can help you. It's just that, of course, the tools that I have recommended you are much more simpler because they are meant to be designed that way. But that doesn't mean that you cannot use PowerPoint to actually present your ideas as well. All right. So you can use PowerPoint. You can then export them all into a picture. It also can be done. Right. So you can also animate in PowerPoint. So don't forget about this really powerful tool. Okay. So now, where there are also a lot of resources, right? And a lot of times when you want to articulate ideas, right, you usually use illustrations. And I wanted to introduce to you Undraw.co. This is really one place that this is basically done by MIT students, and they actually do this for free. So you can actually download this and put this in your pictures, to explain certain things. They actually have icons, and this will help you to create some storyboard, which I will share with you what does a storyboard mean later, right? But Undraw.co, remember this, you can even change the color theme and it will change all the colors accordingly to what you need it to be. So this is one very good resource for you. And yeah, so we actually want to do a exercise, right? But I'm gonna just in view of time just consolidate all of these together, right? So the next one, okay, I'm gonna just pause here. Any questions for me or not before I move on to digital intelligence and cloud? Any? No? Okay. So um, you saw the theme, right? How does digital intelligence and cloud transform Singapore in a post-pandemic world? It's a very, very long theme. It's a very, very long sentence, right? And let me help you to break it down by explaining to you what digital intelligence is, what cloud is, and how does it apply in your idea. So if you look at the previous checklist, right, I think you would have noticed that actually I never mentioned anything about digital intelligence. I never mentioned anything about cloud yet. All right. And here's the reason why. So digital intelligence, what it is, right? If you just do a quick Google, basically digital intelligence is about understanding your who, okay, how they're using your platform, and how can you make their experience better. Okay. How many of you use Netflix? Any of you guys have Netflix? If have, please raise up your hand. Yep. So any users Netflix, right? Mei Chen also. Um, if you go and check out your friend's Netflix and your Netflix, you will realize that they are totally different. Their list is totally different. Okay. That is digital intelligence, right? Because why? The list basically, I could actually just give you the entire library, the few thousand videos or movies that Netflix has, but how does that help, right? It just allows me to have a place to watch my show, but with digital intelligence, they actually enhance the experience. They make things that is not possible, right? For example, I didn't know that I like watching Korean dramas until I go into Netflix. I watch the first Korean drama, the second Korean drama. Then after that, from then on, I only see Korean dramas in my recommended list, right? So these are basically digital intelligence. It involves about understanding who your users are, really what's their pattern, and then you make it such that your application will adjust accordingly. Or right, to make use of artificial intelligence to really understand who your users are. That's what digital intelligence is, right? So in today's world, right, multi-device, multi-channel, digital intelligence, basically, we want to transform digital data into real-time, actionable, user-centric insights. Okay, so it's all about understanding your users, all about understanding it and applying it to do certain things that will better help them. All right, so that's what digital intelligence is. And then the next question, what is cloud, right? Actually, if you go and Google what cloud is, right, there is a very simple liner. And in fact, it is really that simple. But basically, cloud computing is the delivery of computing services, right? Today, I have my laptop over here. It has a computer. I can run a server. I can run a server in here that can maybe take in 10 or 20 people, and stuff like this. But what if, my service increase, right? To 100 users, to 1,000 users, to 10,000 users, to a million users. Can this computer handle the load or not? It definitely can't. And what I have to do is that I will then have to purchase more computing power. I have to then, set up a space specifically for that, because and I may even have to install aircons, because the heat that is going to be produced by, all this hardware is going to be super duper high, and I have to make sure that the computers or the processors are maintained at a cool temperature, right? If not, they will not function. So these basically cloud allows you to, with a few clicks, right, gain computing power. And because these players, right, are super duper huge, super duper big, they buy things in so big bulks that, the service they are the kind of computing power that you're asking for is peanuts to them. Therefore, you pay much lesser, right? That's basically what cloud is. So if you see one of the common services, basically you have servers, you have storage, you can have cloud storage, you can have cloud databases, cloud software, cloud intelligence, analytics, basically all of these things all can be done in cloud, right? So just to really illustrate how and what I mean by cloud is that this is you, this is your computer, right? And if I want to increase my amount of computers, there's a lot of things that I need to, there's a lot of cost involved. Electricity, internet speed, wipe down, the heat, the temperature, the processor, what if the hardware spoil and stuff like this. Instead of that, right, you put everything into cloud, you go into the cloud platform, you say, give me a computer with 3 gigabits of RAM, and you will have it in a matter of minutes. That is what cloud is. All right. And what has cloud done by delivering this is that it has made it so easy for, the normal developers to do this, right? Previously, they had to create a special lab just to do this, and invest tens of thousands of dollars just to, be able to put in all this hardware, and then they still have to service it and maintain it, right? But with cloud, a data scientist can say, I need 20 gig of computing RAM so that I can process 1 million records, right? And in a matter of minutes, they'll have a server and he can process them. And when he's done with it, he just close it, right? So that's the power of cloud. And it really enables a lot of innovation moving forward, because those was really the thing that blocked or stopped people from being able to move ahead with their innovation. So that's what really cloud is. And where do this technology really sit in? See, you were saying that Wajang, you are telling me digital intelligence, you're telling me cloud, right? It's actually very simple. You have to see these technologies as enablers, right? And this is the case for technology. Technology is never on its own. Technology will always there to solve a problem. Technology is always there for businesses. Technology is always there to really assist, or to make things easier. So these technologies are enablers. So your fundamental idea, and that's the reason why, in the front part portion, I never even mentioned anything about digital intelligence. Does it include digital intelligence or not? Does it include cloud or not? No, right? You should be building that on top of what you have. See them as an enabler, right? I already have this idea. If I add in digital intelligence, what are the areas that I can that I can improve, right? And this is how you should see it, right? Okay, because without it, that would have been impossible or really resource intensive for me to achieve. Okay, so that brings on to my seventh checklist, right? And basically that's enhancement. So now you have this idea. Okay, the question is, which of these features, right, would be the most worth it for us to add in something that can make it smarter, right? And how you do that is, I would always recommend you guys to look into personalization, because this is really one of the easiest way for you to make use of data intelligence, right? And then what are the data points that we can study? So for example, right, in the leadership board, right, maybe we can actually show the leadership list based on the users preference. For example, Jiarong likes to look at creativity, or maybe Jiarong actually likes animals. So I might actually have a leaderboard for animals, and then I can actually learn from what the other people, how I can actually challenge the other people, for example, right, in the leaderboards example. So these are really how we can personalize. And for me, for the system to actually know that Jiarong likes animals, right, they will have to bring in some data points, like for example, right, is this an animal question? Is this from the other features, right? Is this an animal related theme question or challenge for the user? And then has he responded to more animal questions than maybe science questions? So these are the data points that you have to identify out. And from there, right, you will then be able to know or see how you can make the features smarter, right? So basically for each feature you can just explore them. If it is not applicable, you can skip them. And then once you have that, right, you would actually have a very very clear picture of how your solution would help, how your solution would serve the people and others, right? So really just move on all the way to feature end. So the last one is about services, right? And the seventh was about digital intelligence. This is basically about cloud. And you only have a few questions to answer. It's a yes or no thing only. All right. So what kind of computing services do we need? The very first question you ask is, do you need it 24/7? Okay. What it means, imagine you are hosting this on your computer. The moment we are done, you close your computer, the server's gonna be down, right? Your solution, do you need it to be 24/7? Okay. If you are doing this commercially, you want to really release this, the answer is always a yes, right? You cannot tell our users, oh, you can only use the application from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. because my computer is on at that time, right? It doesn't make sense. Okay. So the answer is yes. If the answer is yes, you use cloud. Okay, cloud computing. Now, the next question, do you need to store data? Okay, same thing, if you put it on your computer, if your computer's hardware spoil, how? Right, you have any backups? Okay, and also, if you shut down your computer, who can access your storage? No one can, right? So if the answer is yes, cloud database. Do you need to perform some backend logic? Yes, right? Okay. For example, if let's say your solution involves some processing, some calculation of points and all this, you wouldn't want the user to be able to change some numbers and then tell your backend and then make some changes to it, right? So that wouldn't be possible. So that's why you need backend logic to support you in this. Okay, so yes, then you need to put in cloud computing. And last but not least, you need to store files. Okay, same thing, right? When someone were to upload a picture or were to upload certain things to you guys, do you need to store it somewhere? If the answer is yes, then use cloud storage. All right. So once you have all of these things, right, this will actually help you to answer the judges, or the criteria when we see, okay, is this relevant? It's a checklist, right? Does it include digital intelligence? Yes. Does it include cloud solutions? Yes. Right. The next question would then be how innovative does it do? Does it incorporate them? And that's where we go in. So I want to, just very quickly, we have about 10 minutes left, right? Run through with you guys how you can actually work on this, right? And I need your participation, so please unmute your mic and then we can just discuss very quickly, right? So over here, I have this checklist which will be shared with you guys. It's a very, very quick one. And the reason why is because, it's meant to be that, so that you can do more of these and you can pick the best one of it, right? So let's see, okay, you guys can see my screen, right? Can Edmund, Zofan, I heard your voice just now. Can I?
Yeah, can.
Just keep your voice unmute so that we can discuss this, right? But let's see. This is the idea, right? Now there is the what, there's the who, and there's the how. So what do you want to achieve? What should be here? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Anyway, the answer is make learning English fun. All right. Who? Okay. School age children. Right. And then what we want to do is evoke creativity. Right. Evoke curiosity and inculcate a habit of reading. Okay. So that's checklist one already. Now let's move on to the next one, right? So platform, okay, and this one I need your participation. So now let's think about this, right? If we want to make a solution, right, that will target the school age children, right, that will encourage them to have creativity, curiosity, and inculcate them a habit of reading, which platform would it best be put in, right? So let's move to access first. Okay, so I've explained what access is, right? The school age children, will they have easy access to web or not? 5 being the easiest, 1 being the hardest. Can I get you guys to, just drop your comments, your numbers in there? So you have to give me numbers, right, in web, mobile, and hardware. So for example, one, one. That's for Jiarong. What about the rest of you guys? If you want, you can say it out. If not, you can just put it in the chat so that I'll put it in.
Wait, for 5 is most easy.
Yes, 5 is the easiest.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 is best. 1 is the worst. Yep. So, Zhofan, what will you put for all 3 platforms?
Probably 4, 5, and 3.
4, 5, and 3. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this session short, right? But basically, what will happen is that each teammate will then put their numbers in here, and then you will actually explain why is it that you give web 4, why is it 1 less point, and why is it that you want to give mobile 5, and why is it that you want to give hardware 3. Okay, from there, right, you will then be able to explain also, right? Just in case there's any judges that asking why you never build this on the web or why you never build this on a mobile. Okay, so 3, 3, 1 for Edmund, okay, 3, 5, 1. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this, right? But basically, we'll then discuss the delivery. Okay, this mobile application, how is it gonna be, blah blah blah, and stuff like this. Okay, so from here, okay, I think we actually have a very clear winner, right? Mobile is gonna be the mobile will probably be the winner. So from there, right, the team will then decide, okay, based on this scoring, let's build the solution on a mobile. So now once you have it mobile, right, all of these things, right, you have to think about it, right? On mobile can do, or cannot do. You understand? Okay, so that's checklist 2. Now, checklist 3, okay, remember I mentioned, right, for each of the house, you will then explore what are the features that we can bring in. Okay, so let's say, evoke creativity. Okay, so let's put here, evoke creativity. Okay, so I want to evoke creativity. Any ideas or any features that y'all think that we can do to evoke to evoke creativity in our app, on the mobile app, on a mobile phone? Any ideas? So from the way that I see, if I want to encourage creativity, right? What I will want them to do is to maybe do piece sentences or sentences. No, maybe yeah, piece sentence. Any others? What are the things that we can do to encourage creativity to our youth, to our school age children? Anyone? I just need one idea. Open questions or drawings. Okay. Yep. Actually, that's a good idea. So I like the drawing one. Okay, and I will share with you why later. Right. So then there is the evoke curiosity. Okay. So you basically will just do this, for here and for here. Exactly the same for each and every one of these. So the third one would be inculcate a habit of reading. All right. Okay, so from here, now let's move on to the fourth one, right? The checklist. So each of the feature, right, we will then discuss. Okay, so for piece sentence, for piecing your sentence, what is the thing that you need? And for drawing, what is it that you will need? Okay, so what you need for piecing a sentence. Now, if you think about it, right, if I want to piece sentence, my system needs to know that the sentence is correct, right? So then I will need to have a list of sentences. Right? We need to have the list of sentences because that is, for me to be able to build this feature, is something that I will need to have. Okay. Now, the must-have features, right, is basically what are the kind of options or functions that you want to bring inside this piecing of sentence. Okay. So an example of a must-have feature would be, you want to be able to no, you want to have multiple possibilities, multiple correct answers, for example. Right. So that way, when you show the people, when you show the users the sentence, for them to piece it up together, you don't always see the same question. You can jumble them up a little bit. Right. What is a one to have? Maybe a one to have would be one to have feature would be for us to, let's say, piece sentence, right? So if I want a piece sentence, I want to be able to share. Right. So this is so I mean the idea would be that, oh yeah, not only are we trying to inculcate or evoke creativity, right? We also want to be able to share this new word that you learn to your friends, for example, maybe through your social media or your WhatsApp, or something, right? But it's not a must have, it's a want to have. Okay, so basically you will then repeat over here. So drawing wise, what is it that you need to have? You definitely need to have images, right, that you can compare to, right? What is the must have? You probably must have accuracy, right? You need to know how accurate this person is drawing to encourage certain creativity and stuff like this. Then the one to have, is maybe same thing, share drawing to friends. Okay, so that's basically how you would explore further, in each of the features. So of course, this is just very short. I'm just cutting things short because we are already behind time. But I'm basically you have to you would have actually quite a lot over here, and then for each you will explore more. Then what will happen is that right over here, let's just say I have we it's just that we have one of each, right? But if let's say for as you put more effort into each of the feature, maybe the must have will have 10 items, and then the accuracy will have 2 items. These will give you a gauge as to how difficult is it going to for you to implement this feature. So that's how you pick and choose your features as well. All right. Okay, so I hope that this will help you guys understand, how you can come up with the features and the feature system. Then next, right, is going to be the user journey. So for each sentence, you're going to have uh, a user journey, right? So let's just take drawing as an example. Okay, so we want to encourage users on drawing. So what is it that the user is going to see? Edmund, maybe some input from you. Imagine now you're using this mobile application, right? Because we decided our mobile application. Now, I am a user and I'm in this screen right now, and I see it's a drawing segment, a drawing feature of this application. What would you expect to see in here? Nice. Yeah. So what the user might see is a whiteboard, right? And what can the users do then? Okay. I want to add on, right? So not only just a whiteboard, I think we also want to give them a word, right? So that we can encourage creativity, right? So we also want to give them a word so that they can draw. I would say. And then what can the user do after they are done drawing? Okay. In this case, you really have to think right now. I imagine I'm done with my drawing and stuff like this already. Maybe I will be able to send this, right? So that the robot or something can actually go and think about this, right? So I will be able to send drawing to submit drawing basically. Okay. So now then next one you will be because you have what the users can do here, right? And it doesn't bring you back to the main page or this. You will then have another new screen, drawing, submit drawing. Okay, and now in this submit drawing, right, what will the user see? Maybe when we submit, right, there will be some system that will grade your drawing, or actually get someone else to guess what word is this, right? So maybe what the users can see is a score here, right, or accuracy, drawing accuracy, right, to encourage their creativity, right? Or maybe we can also have how many people actually like this drawing for this this submit drawing. So once they click on it, other people will be able to see, and this will become the detailed view of the word and the whiteboard. So over here, maybe what you can do is I will then be able to go back to drawing. Okay. So this is basically how you come up with the user journey, and for each of these user journey, you will have one screen. Okay, that's why you don't see checklist 6. But when you have a drawing over here, then you imagine yourself having a screen with a drawing word, and then you encourage the users to use crayon or whatsoever to do drawing, and then you submit it up and stuff like this. That will help you to piece together, the images, the companion images that will help you to explain and articulate your ideas. Okay, now checklist 7, that's where the enhancements comes in. Okay, so I'm just going to use drawing as an example, right? Okay, so now drawing wise question is, what kind of, how can we personalize the users how can we enhance, right, using data intelligence to enhance this drawing feature? Anyone? So now imagine what everybody see for the drawing is the same. Now with with digital intelligence, we can personalize it, right? What are the things that we can change? There are 2 things that the users can see, right? They can see the whiteboard, they can see the word, right? Any ideas, anyone? Yes, no? Okay, in view of time, I'm just gonna cut. Recommend the type of drawing. Yes, actually good suggestion. Okay. I will just add on to what you are suggesting, right? Instead of recommending the type of drawing, I would actually personalize the word that they are drawing. Like I see that, this person can actually draw animals very well, right? Then we want to encourage them to continue drawing. So we give them different words, but it's all animal related ones. You understand? Okay. So different word types, right? To get user to draw. Okay. Now, once you have this, right, the question you will then have to decide, what kind of data point you need. Okay. The data, basically, you have a list of questions, right? You now need to know what are the types, okay, or categories, right? So this is one data point. You also will want to record down uh, you also want to record down the frequency or how many times the user draw. Right? So all of these data will basically help you through digital intelligence methodologies, right, to understand the user better and come up with a recommendation that says, you know what, this solution, you should be giving Jiarong animal words. All right, so that is how you basically enhance your features, right? So if you can see how we went along, right, it was very simple. The drawing was just simply I give you 100 lists of words, right, and then you will just keep rotating or maybe randomize the word, and then we'll get the users to draw. That's it, right? But now with digital intelligence, we are making it such that we will give you the drawings based on your preference, based on your answers, and you can actually link the functionalities together in other places. For example, right, not only there's drawing, there's piece sentence, right? So we can actually learn what the piece sentence, we can actually get some data points from piece sentence as well to understand what the users is doing, and then we can put it into the drawing features. So that is what and how you enhance your solution or your idea. Okay, so just remember, you shouldn't be thinking, oh, how do I bring in technology first? Right? You should be looking at the problem, you should be looking at the solution, you should be looking at how you can get it done first, then you add on. All right. And yep, basically the last one is the checklist services. Is the answer is if it's a yes, then you put this, then you need to do cloud computing. If it's a no, then you do it elsewhere. So that basically concludes the 8 checklist section that I have given. And we actually managed to do this in like 20 minutes. So you really can have a lot of variations, a lot of examples, a lot of ideas that you can dump inside here. And as a team, you can actually discuss along the way. And that's how, you can come up with a very, very meaningful solution. All right. And that's how with this being done, that it can be achieved because you have already assessed it. You, based on, the what is needed and the must have, how much effort is required to get it done. You will not pick the one with 2,000 things inside here because just for one feature, I must have 2,000 requirements, right? You wouldn't want to waste your time on this. Maybe look for other features that you can add on. And with all of these features, doesn't mean you have to put all of them together, right? But these features, basically, you should highlight the very, very important ones. And this will then become your unique idea already. So now moving back to the presentation slides, right? Okay. My tips for you. So this is basically the submission requirements, the name of the project, the challenge sub-team, opportunity identified, proposed idea and platform. As you can see, my checklist basically helps you to understand, answer all of these things already. All right. Okay. So this checklist will help you to consolidate your ideas. If you have already submitted, like Jofan, it doesn't matter. You will still need it for stage B or stage if you manage to move on to the next stage anyway, right? So I think it's a good exercise for you guys to have and to put into some thoughts on this, right? So that's the submission. The second one. Now, in the criteria, it says that you can submit up to 5 accompanying images. All right. So what these 5 accompanying images, right, doesn't mean give me 5 screenshots, okay, right? I would really get you guys to start thinking about it, right? You know, you can see this is an example that I done searching online, right? This is a storyboard that basically identifies this member or this person, right? Who the target audience is, what is the pain point, what is the why is it that he wants what is the things that he is always facing trouble with and all this. And in here, basically, if you have never heard of Slack, Slack is a communications platform like WhatsApp, right? It it is actually, this is just one image. This is not 3 images. In that one images, it takes some of the screenshots or some of the screens that was designed in your checklist 6, right? And you put in accompanying text to explain how it is, right? Just like this, right? In that one image, we know Slack is an all-in-one communication, that it has channels and it has direct messages, right? So this is how you can articulate your idea. This is how you can share the features, highlight the features and functionalities that makes your solution unique, right? So this is something that you can do. Be creative, basically. You know, don't just submit that one image. I mean, it does work, but I'm saying that, you know, for those who participated in my workshop, I've shared the same thing to them. You know, so that's something that I think I will consider you. I'll recommend you guys to think about. Now, the second one is that, you may say, well, Jiarong, I'm lost. I don't know what ideas to come up with. I don't know whether it aligns with the team or not and stuff like this. Think about it now. What if COVID-19 were to happen 10 years before, when technology was still so laid back? You know, today every student can have an iPad, but the last 10 years ago, I think for a student, secondary school student, to even have a mobile phone, then that is actually a very, very different thing, right? So you have to think about it, right? And now today, moving forward, what would be the difference? I think that difference, as you explore and think about it further, you will actually be able to identify, oh, because we solve this problem, that new problem comes up, right? And that basically will help you to frame the idea on, how can you align yourself with the solution with this year's competition team. Now, the third one is the judging criteria, right? So if you look at the judging criteria, there's like feasibility, originality, creativity, relevance to team, impact on target. If you look at and cross-check with my checklist, basically the checklist would have covered most of all these things already. Right, it explains what's the originality, because you are piecing up different functions and features together. You are making use of digital intelligence to come in to transform certain of the functionalities. That's originality, that is creativity, that's unique one, right? Okay, so those are some of the things that you want to go in. And stage B and C is about execution or ideas, right? So you wouldn't want to come up with a very big, hairy, audacious idea, and then at stage B, you cannot achieve it because there's 25%, right? So start off as early as possible to really plan a little bit, but you don't have to worry about it because there will be mentors to support you along the way, right? But it's just that you wouldn't want to commit too heavy into this, but your idea should still be a winning idea. That's the whole point, right? Now, with that, I am actually done. Any questions for me or not?
Are the words in the infographics included in the 500 word limit?
Of course not. It's just 5 pictures. That's a very good question, actually. Yeah, so in the Word document, it cannot be more than 500, right? But of course, please don't submit a picture that is full of text. I mean, the text should really accompany and explain what this image is all about. So that's basically what my tip is all about, right? Make use of this. But a very good question.
Thank you.
Yep. Any others? If we are done, you can give me a thumbs up. Okay. Edmund and Annie? Okay. Yep. If not, then I would like to thank you guys. Sorry that I ran a little bit late. I hope that you guys learned something from this session, and I look forward to your submissions. Right. Thank you. Got submit, got MacBook to win. Thank you.